Welcome to another edition of Tips for the Webex User. My name is Matthew White, BTC engineer here with Ingram Micro, and today we're going to discuss a little bit about how to connect your audio to your Webex when you're connecting through other sources like a cell phone or a landline. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you are a host is start your meeting. So you can click this green button here, and if you had scheduled a meeting, you could do that as well. This is just using this for a personal room environment. So the first thing it does is it asks you, what do you want to use to connect to the meeting? So do you want to use a camera? I can start and stop my video by clicking this button. I can also pick what I want to use as far as settings by clicking this button and picking, let's use a different camera instead of my integrated camera. I can do that as well. And then down in here, I can pick how I want to actually call in. Now this is my microphone muted or unmuted when I join, but this over here is how I want to call in. I could also use a video system if I wanted to and connect through SIP or connect through just a dial-in connection. But really, in this particular exercise, we're going to use this call-in instead of the computer audio. Computer audio is great because it automatically dials you in with your audio and your video all at once, and there's a lot less struggling that I see people end up having with that piece. However, if you're connecting through a bad internet connection where you're constantly having dropped calls or things like that, then often people want to connect via a cell phone or landline, so if their video drops, they can still hear the audio and still continue to communicate with the people in the meeting until their video connection reestablishes without having any issues. So let's go ahead and try this call-in method today. So today we're using the latest version of Cisco Webex meetings. So if I click Start Meeting, it's going to actually jump me right into the meeting. And because I picked to have my audio connected via a cell phone or a landline, it's going to actually give me my dial-in information here. Now, it would also give you a 1-800 number if you had opted for that option as part of your Webex package. And then you've got your access code and your attendee ID. So if I go ahead and dial in, you'll see in a second on what this will actually look like for me and the other people that are in the call and what it will actually show up to them as.
Enter your access code or meeting number followed by pound. Enter your attendee ID number followed by pound. If you do not know your attendee number, press pound to continue. You are the first person to join the meeting. Please stand by.
And then if I go under here under participants, I can see myself, and I can also see that I have this little phone symbol, which means I've dialed in via a landline or a cell phone. So this is showing me that I have my phone connected. It is also showing that it's connected to me as the user. So if I was a participant on this call, I would see this particular user, or if I have my video going, I would see my video anytime that I was to talk, and they would see my video anytime I was to talk. So the advantage of this is that if I'm talking about a project or I'm talking about anything, really that's taking the advantage of the Webex platform, the video conferencing platform, and allowing them to see me large, prominent, when I want them to see me and when they want to see me when I'm talking. So if you were to take this and be say a secondary user or an attendee, it'd be the same process for them as well. And this is great because it's very seamless. It prompts you for the additional information, and it's automatically tying the two together. Now, if you're on an older version of Webex, it may ask you for additional information, or if you're using a third-party call bridge, it may ask you for additional information there as well to be able to tie the video to the audio, because it doesn't automatically know who you are calling in and how it is to tie those together. So I'll show you that here in just a second. But really, that's it when it comes to dialing in correctly. So once you've got that tied in correctly, it'll work fine. You can mute and unmute your capability here. And then you can also just end the meeting here once you're done.
www.webex.com.
However, if you're going to join from one of the older systems, the downside there is you have to dial your leader pin and your conference code. But what a lot of people forget to do, because it doesn't actually prompt you to enter it in some of the older systems, is your attendee ID still, which is down here. So if you forget to enter in your attendee ID, you'll actually see your person up here and you'll see the audio connected separately. So let's go ahead and start my video for now. And let's dial in using that system.
Enter your conference code, followed by the pound or hash sign. Thank you. If you are the leader, press star now.
So as you can see, at this point, I've connected everything in the beginning here, my leader pin, my conference code, my dial-in number, and I've gotten this call-in user 1 because I was the first person to call in using the system. However, if I was to scroll down a little bit further, I see my attendee ID number. So here, I can't tell who this is that's talking because there's no name associated with this. It's just call-in user 1. And when I talk, I see this little phone icon here instead of the picture of the user itself or the actual video of the user. So let's go ahead and actually combine these two by typing in the attendee ID. And now you can see it's connected it together just like it did in the other system, but just with a few more steps. So if you're using one of the older lockdown systems of WebEx, then just make sure you're connecting that last piece to the audio. But if you're using one of the newer systems of WebEx or you upgrade to the newer system of WebEx, then you're going to get that more seamless connection experience even when joining from a cell phone or landline. So enjoy the rest of your day and thank you for joining us for another edition of Tips for the WebEx User. We'll see you next time. Bye.